Dear students, see last time we studied about refraction of light by prism and we also derived equation for the refract index of a material of the prism. Now today we have to study refraction by of a lens. Now see what is a lens? A lens is a device bounded by two refracting surfaces. Okay, a lens is a device bounded by two refracting surfaces. What we can see in this diagram? See, ABC, that is N1 is a one refracting surface, and ADC, that we call as N2, is another refracting surface. Okay, now see, in that case we can see the refraction will take place two times, one by the ABC surface and secondly by the ADC surface. Now first we study refraction taking place by ABC surface, that is N1. Now we consider, see, this is also a part of the spherical surface which has a radius of curvature R1. Okay, now so for simplicity I have shown only ABC part, that is N1. Now see, let us say O is a point like object. See the incident ray. Okay, now see the line passing through the center of curvature of this surface ABC, we call as a radius of curvature is R1. Now let us say the first ray is incident at angle I1 with the normal. Now we know it travels from a rarer medium to a denser medium, so it will bend towards this normal. Now this AC1 we can say is our normal, so the angle of refraction will be R1. Okay, angle of refraction will be R1. Now see, last time we studied about refraction from a spherically curved surface. So first way to write equation from the ABC surface, see, minus N1 upon U1 U plus N2 upon V is N2 minus N1 upon R1. Okay, now here right now we write in terms of the distances. Okay, now see, this distance OB is U. Now N2, see this BI, or let us say BI1 I am calling. Okay, and N2 minus N1. See, this radius is nothing but BC1. Okay, this radius is nothing but BC1. Okay, so this is a refraction taking place by N1 surface. Refraction okay. Now let me explain again. See, a lens is a device bounded by two refracting surfaces. See, here two refracting surfaces are ABC and ADC respectively. Now first we consider refraction taking place from the ABC surface which has the radius of curvature BC1 is R1. Now see the first ray, incident ray. Now this line passing through AC1 we can call as a normal. Angle of incidence is A1. See, when it travels from a rarer medium to a denser medium, instead of moving in this path, we'll move toward the normal. Angle of refraction is R1. So we use the formula which we had derived earlier. See, minus N1 upon U plus N2 upon V is N2 minus N1 upon R1. So here the object distance is OB, image distance is BI1, and the radius of curvature is BC1. Okay, this is how we can write the refraction taking place from the surface N1. Now we have seen the refraction taking place from the surface ABC, that is N1. Now secondly we have to see the refraction taking place from ADC surface, okay, that is N2. Okay, now here this ray will travel from N2 to N1. Okay, so it will be N2 upon U2 plus N1 upon V1. Okay, N2 upon V2. Okay, it will be N2 minus N1 upon R1. Now see, image formed by the first surface, that is ABC, will act object for the second. So this DI1 will act as an object distance for the second surface, and final image is formed at DI. Okay, final image we can show like this. Earlier it was like this, but this acts as an object, so we have to reverse the direction. Now the final image is formed at di, okay, and this r2, that is a radius of curvature of second surface, that is ADC, it is DC2, okay, that we have to write DC. So we can write like this, minus n2 upon di1 plus n1 upon di is n2 minus n1 upon dc. Okay, so this is how we can show the refraction taking place from the ADC surface. Now see, I have written the equation taking place from ABC surface and ADC surface together. Now see, the image formed by the first surface acts as an object for the second. So see, this bi1 and di1 will be equal. So now let us say we call this equation 1 and 2. Okay, now if I add equation 1 and 2, because this bi1 and di1 are equal, this will get cancelled. So okay, why here is a negative sign and a positive sign. So how this equation will become n1 upon OB plus n1 upon bi1. See, n2 minus n1 I am taking common. See, 1 upon bc1 plus 1 upon bc2. Okay, now so if I add equation 1 and 2, it will be n1 upon OB. See, this bi1 and di1 is equal, so we will get cancelled. Okay, so finally n1 upon OB plus n1 upon bi1, n2 minus n1 common we have taken, 1 upon bc1 plus 1 upon dc2. So this is how we can add two equations taking place. Now see, we have to substitute the values. Now see, when the object is at infinite distance, okay, object is at infinite distance, that is OB, infinite, image will be at F. Okay, so this bi1 will be equal to F. Now see, n1 upon infinite plus n1 upon, see, bi1 is F, see, n2 minus n1. Now see, dc1 was on the right hand side, okay, so we have taken positive, and dc2 on the left hand side of the origin, that's why we have taken minus. Okay, now see, 1 upon infinite has become 0. Okay, so finally our equation will become like this, 1 upon f, n1 upon f, n2 minus n1, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Now see, this n1 I am taking into the denominator, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Okay, so this finally our equation has become 1 upon f is n2 minus n1 upon n. Now see, this n2 upon n1, this we can write as n2 upon n1 minus n1 upon n1, that will become 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Now n2 upon n1 is n21, that is the refractive index of the material, 1 by f, we can write n21 minus 1, see, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Okay, so this is a refraction taking place by the lens. See, this formula equation is also called lens maker's formula. Okay, this equation is also called lens maker. Now this is a very important question. Okay, we should keep in mind. See here, what we have seen, we have shown the refraction taking place from ABC surface, that is n1, and then we have shown refraction taking place from ADC surface, that is n2. This is how we can derive the formula, okay, for lens. Okay, now see, we have derived equation of refraction through the lens. Now next we have to derive the formula for the thin lens. Now see, what is a thin lens? Now we have seen one reflecting surface. This is another reflecting surface. See, these are part of the reflecting surfaces. Okay. Now see the distance between two reflecting surface. Let us say reflecting surface 1 and 2. Yeah, is very less compared to see the object distance and image distance. Then it is called thin lens. So we can write like this: if distance between two lens, two reflecting surface, is very less compared to object distance and image distance, then lens is said to be okay. Now we have derived minus n1 upon u plus n1 upon v is n2 minus n1, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Okay, so that is 1 upon n1 we can take common, 1 upon v minus 1 upon u, n2 minus n1 upon n2 minus n1, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Okay, now this n1 I am taking in the denominator. 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is n2 minus n1 upon n1. Okay, now see just now we have derived 1 upon f is n2 minus n1 upon n1, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Now if we compare these two equations, we can see the right hand side is same, okay, of the both equations. So if I compare to this equation, see the equation for the thin lens will become 1 upon f is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. Okay, this is the equation for the thin lens. Now see mirror formula, we have seen 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon v plus 1 upon u, whereas for the thin lens the equation will become 1 upon f is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. Now this is very important equation. Okay, now just so far we have talked about one, the reflection from a spherically curved surface, then refraction from a lens, that was a generalized formula, and finally we have come to the thin lens. Now generally we come across two type of thin lens. Okay, one is a convex lens and second is a concave lens. Okay, in the 10th standard also you studied about this, but here in this lesson we have seen how this formula for the thin lens has kept. Okay, earlier we derived the mirror formula, now we derive the formula for the lens also. Now we know the convex lens is a converging lens and a concave lens is a diverging lens. Now in the beginning of the lesson we studied about how to draw ray diagram for mirror. Now we start for the lens and then we'll see how the image will be formed when the object is placed in front of convex lens or a concave lens at different position. Just in a concave lens, concave mirror, we have 6 conditions. Similarly here, concave mirror we call as a converging mirror. Here, see the convex lens is a converging lens that we have to keep in mind. Now first, we see how to draw. Okay, now we start with a convex lens and then we have a generalized formula, okay, for the lens. Now see, lens has two focus, one on each side and f. See, just we had a C is equal to 2R, okay, center of curvature here, see f and 2f, okay, O is the optical center, see OF and OF will be equal to F to F. Okay, this is, we can say F1. Some of the book it is mentioned F1 and 2F1. Okay, but we can generalize it F and 2F. Now let us see how to draw a ray diagram. Now see, first condition, when see the paraxial rays, it is parallel to the principal axis. This line passing through the optical center of the lens is a principal axis for the lens. Now first ray parallel to the principal axis, after refraction it will pass through that. This is the first condition to draw a ray diagram. This is the first condition to draw a ray diagram. Now okay, what we have seen, if the incident ray is parallel to principal axis, after refraction will pass through F on the other side of the lens. Now secondly, see, if the incident ray passes through F, after refraction it will become parallel to the principal axis. After refraction it will become parallel to the principal axis. You can see these are just opposite. First, incident ray here is parallel to the principal axis. After refraction it will pass through F. And secondly, see, the incident ray passes through F, after refraction it will become parallel to the principal axis. Now, and the third condition, this is the first condition we have seen, second and third. Now and the third condition we have to see, if the ray passes through the optical center of the lens, so it will travel without changing the direction. See here, after refraction the direction is changed, here also it is changed, but here if the incident ray, now this will be incident ray, this will be refracted ray. Okay, it moves undeviated. What is the meaning of this? Path will not change. By using this three basic convention or three basic diagram, we can draw ray diagram for the convex lens as well as concave lens. Now let us see how the image is formed for the convex lens. Convex lens, there are 6 conditions. Okay, now this diagram you studied in the 10th standard. Okay, right now I am not drawing, I have shown you how basic, what are the basic principles or how we can draw a ray diagram. See, right now I write in a tabulated form. Okay, you can draw the diagram and verify it. But we have to see how the image is formed in case of a convex lens and convex concave lens. Now first, position of object. First, okay. Now, if object at infinity, okay. Now, as I told, the convex lens is a converging lens. See, the incident ray are parallel to the distance is, see, the rays coming from very large distance. Here, the object is at infinite. See, we consider them parallel to the principal axis. After refraction it will make at F. Okay, it will be real and inverted. And highly diminished. Okay, or we say is a point light. See, first, when rays are coming from very large distance, we theoretically assume that the ray object is at infinite, image will be at F, and image is real inverted, highly diminished. Now, you know, by using a convex lens, okay, that sometimes we use magnifying lens also. Okay, we used to concentrate the sun rays on the paper and try to burn the paper. Why? Because see, the rays are coming from very large distance. Image will be at F. So we try to adjust the position such that it makes F. Because of the heat of the sun, the paper is to burn. Okay, so this is the first case. Now secondly, see when object is beyond 2F. Okay, now see here, first 5 cases, image will be formed on the opposite side, other side of the lens. See, incident ray and reflected ray. Now when the object is beyond 2F, image is between F and 2F. Okay, it will be real and inverted, smaller than object. Okay, so when the object is between beyond 2F, image is formed on the other side between F and 2F. It will be real and inverted, smaller than the object. Third, object is at 2F. Okay, see when object is at 2F, image also at 2F. Okay, real and inverted. Okay, same size of object. Okay, when object is at 2F, image also will be formed at 2F on the other side of the lens, real and inverted, and the same size of the object. So these are the 3 conditions. Now next, see one thing we have to keep in mind: as object moves towards the lens, image will move away from the lens. Now fourth, object is between F and 2F. Okay, image will be formed beyond 2F. So it will be real and inverted. Okay, and image will be larger than object. Okay, when object is between F and 2F, image will be formed beyond 2F. It will be real and inverted, larger than the object. Now object has again moved towards the lens. Object is at F. Now see the first condition we have seen, when object was at infinite, image is at F. It was real and inverted. Okay. And image was highly diminished or a point like object. Now when the object is at F, image will be at infinity. It will be real and inverted, but size of the image will be not definite. Why? Because image will be formed where it will be concentrated or focused. Now these are the 5 cases where we object real and inverted image. And the 6th, see object is between F and O, that is optical center. Okay, now image will be on the same side. Object. See, first 5 cases, object and image were on the opposite side of the lens. Okay, image will be on the same side. See here, it will be virtual and erect. And image will be larger than object. So, in convex lens, we get a larger image. There are two possibilities. One, image is real and inverted and larger than the object. Possible. Second possibility, image is larger but it is virtual and erect. So these 2 conditions we have to remember very well when we want to obtain the larger image of an object from a convex lens. So these are the 6 cases for the convex lens. Now, as I told, you try to draw it. Okay, so and diagram and verify what we have written here. Now see concave lens. See, concave lens is a diverging lens. Okay, it do not focus the rays falling on it, but it will try to diverge or change the direction so they move apart. Now in concave lens there are two possibilities. Now whatever we saw the basic terminology to draw the ray diagram, same will be used for concave lens also. Now first condition we have seen, object is at infinity. Concave lens is a virtual focus. Now see here, object is at infinity, so we consider rays are parallel to the principal axis. Now this is the optical center. See, it is a diverging lens, so rays will move apart. But if I extrapolate or reproduce it back, they meet at F. Okay, so here the image will be formed. See, it will be when object is at infinity, image will be at F, virtual and erect and highly diminished. Okay, see the concave lens is a diverging lens. Okay, rays are diverged, but we produce it back to assume that the image will be formed at F. So it will be virtual and erect and highly diminished. Now second condition, distance other than infinity. Okay, now here we consider, see object was infinity, we consider them parallel to the principal axis. Okay, and try how the image is formed. Now okay, now let us say image is at a distance other than infinity. Now let us say object is AB. Okay, now see how to we draw the ray diagram. First ray parallel to the principal axis. See, it is a diverging lens, so it will be diverted, but we produce it to pass through F. And see the convention we have seen, when the ray, incident ray passes to the optical center of the lens, it moves undeviated or the direction will not change. Okay, now these are two rays. See what we can see here. See, we produce these rays to meet at here. Let us say the image is formed A dash B dash. Okay, image A dash B dash is the image formed. So here also the ray, because it is a diverging lens, rays were separated, but we assume when we reproduced back, see they meet at point A dash, and the A dash at A dash B dash the image is formed. So here, see image is on the same side of lens, virtual and erect and smaller than object. Okay, so this is how we can see the image is formed for a concave lens. See, convex lens we can discuss 6 different positions, whereas concave lens there are only two conditions. See, the image formed by the concave lens is always virtual, erect and smaller than the object, so the magnification will be less than 1. Now this is how the image is formed by the concave lens. Now see magnification. See the thin lens formula, 1 upon f is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u, and the magnification is v by u. Here it was minus v by u magnification, there is a linear magnification. Here it will be m is equal to v by u. Now next we write in terms of the table how the object distance and image distance and magnification will be there for a concave lens and a convex lens. convex lens f is positive. Concave lens. Okay, now object distance u, see it will be negative always by convention. Okay, image distance. Now in convex lens we have seen that the real image is also formed and virtual image is also formed. When real image is formed, see the image will be on the other side of the lens, so V will be positive. And when virtual image is formed, okay, image is on the same side, so V will be negative. Now just now we have draw ray diagram for concave lens. See image also on the same side, so it will be negative. Now this is for image distance. Now see the magnification. M is equal to V by U. Okay, now how the magnification will vary when the real image is formed? V upon U. See, object distance is always negative. Okay, when real image is formed, V is positive, minus and minus ratio will make positive. So when real image is formed, see the magnification will be negative. Okay, and when virtual image is formed, okay, now see for concave lens, M is equal to V upon U. U and V both are decided, okay, pre-decided, so M will be positive. But we have seen that the concave lens, for concave lens, image formed is always smaller than the object, so the magnification will be positive but less than 1. So we have to keep in mind that for a concave lens the magnification always lies between 0 and 1. Okay, now this is how we have to use this convention in solving the MCQ or numericals. It will be a great help. Now this is about the concave and convex lens. Now next we have to see the combination of a lens. Okay, now let us say two convex lens f1 and f with the focal length f1 and f2 are kept in contact with each other. Now we have to derive the equation of equivalent focal length. Okay, we can write like this: equivalent focal length. So this can be asked in a 2-mark question. Derive equation of equivalent for combination of the lens. Now see lens 1 focal length is f1. Now we can say first ray and it will form the image here. Okay, okay, now see here u1 is u, that is object distance. See this OI1 is the image distance, we can say V dash for simplicity. Now for the lens 1 we can write 1 upon f1 is 1 upon v1 minus u1. Okay, 1 upon f1, v1 we have taken as v dash and u1 we have taken u. Now see the image formed by lens 1 will act as an object for the lens 2. Okay, we can write image formed by lens 1 act as object. So we can write u2 is v1, that is we have taken as v dash. Okay. Now we assume that see the image formed by the lens 1 act as an object for second lens. See it will travel like this and finally we assume that image is I2. Okay, so this OI2 V2 is we can take V. Now for lens 2, it is 1 upon f2 is 1 upon v2 minus 1 upon v2. Okay? See, f2 is the focal length of lens 2. See, the image formed by the lens 1 acts as an object for the second lens. So we can say u2 is v1 is v dash. And see the final image distance OI2, that is v. Now this is f. 1 upon f2 is 1 upon v2 minus u2. 1 upon f2 is v2 is v and u2 is v dash. Now this is equation number 2. Okay. Now if I add equation 1 and 2. Okay. Now see the left hand side is 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2 is equal to, here it is 1 upon v dash minus u plus, see the second equation is 1 upon v minus 1 upon v dash. Okay, what we can see here? See, here is a negative sign, here also. So what is left now? We can write okay, so we can write 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. This is 1 upon f. Okay, so see the equivalent focal length is 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f. So this is the formula for the equivalent focal length for combination of lengths. Now see the magnification of combination. v1 is v dash and u dash is u. m2 v2 upon u2. v2 is v, u2 is v dash. Now there is a image formed by the first length acts as an object for the second. Now see, if I multiply m1 and m2, v dash upon u upon v dash. That is telescope. Yeah. So we can write m is equal to m1 into m2. Okay, that is a magnification for a combination of lengths. So this is how we can obtain equivalent focal length and the magnification. See, today we have discussed refraction by a lens. Okay, then we derived the lens maker formula and the equation for the thin lens. We saw how to draw ray diagram, how the image is formed by a convex and concave lens, and finally we have derived equation for the equivalent focal length for a combination of lens. See, next time we will proceed further. Thank you.